Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating way of thinking about innovation, one that's being used by some of the biggest, most diverse companies on the planet. But to get our heads around it, I want to start with a bit of a puzzle for you.
Seriously, think about it for a second. A space agency, a company that makes your shampoo, and a massive fashion brand. I mean, on the surface, you couldn't find three more different organizations, right?
First up, you've got NASA. We're talking rocket science, literally, deep space missions, mind-bending technology, stuff that's truly out of this world.
Then you swing over to Procter& Gamble. Their entire world is about the products we use every single day in our homes. And believe me, the innovation that goes into a new laundry detergent is a whole different universe of complexity. And finally, H&M. They live and breathe in the lightning-fast, constantly changing world of global fashion. So what in the world could possibly connect these three giants?
Well, the answer isn't what they innovate, but how. They all share a core philosophy, an approach that puts the human expert right at the center of everything. And that's the exact same principle that powers the tool we're going to look at today, IdeaNAV. But before we get into how it works, we really need to understand the problem it was built to solve.
So let's talk about the real challenge here. It turns out you can't just drop a powerful AI on your team and expect breakthrough ideas to magically appear. There are some very real, very human roadblocks that can stop a great idea dead in its tracks.
And these challenges really pop up on two different levels. For individual employees, it's often a mental shift they have to make. But for what we're talking about today, we're going to focus on the bigger picture, the organizational level, where the barriers tend to be technical and structural.
And these barriers are super practical. First, there's this expectation that your experts need to suddenly become AI wizards, masters of prompt engineering. A lot of tools also just flat out ignore the incredible knowledge the user already brings to the table. Then there's the fact that they don't really push employees to learn new things. And maybe the biggest problem of all, when an AI just spits out a finished idea, that feeling of human ownership, it just vanishes.
Okay, so with those challenges laid out pretty clearly, we can now flip the script and look at the solution. Let's see how a really focused system like IdeaNAV is designed to tackle every single one of those barriers head-on. Let's hit that first big one. Your top biologist, your lead marketing strategist, they're probably not experts at writing crazy complex AI prompts. And you know what? They really shouldn't have to be. And the solution is just to take that whole barrier away. The system is built so you don't need any prompt engineering skills at all. The entire point is to focus on the idea, not to get lost in the weeds of how to talk to the AI.
All right, next up. A huge issue is that generic AI often feels like it's starting from zero, completely ignoring the years or even decades of experience your team member has.
And this brings us to the core concept, human-directed AI. Let's go back to that P&G chemist. They are the ones who provide the initial spark, the idea for a formula, based on their deep knowledge. The AI isn't trying to create a new soap from scratch. It's acting as a powerful assistant, a catalyst, to build on that human-led concept.
So we get the philosophy, right? Put the human first. But what does that actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's break down how this human-centered approach is baked right into the process, step by step.
First, everything kicks off with the human idea. Their expertise is always the starting line. Second, the system is designed to expand skills by nudging the user to explore areas they might not have considered. Third, because the human is the one who starts it all, it naturally cultivates ownership. And finally, the whole collaborative setup is designed to accelerate goals, helping people hit those ambitious targets way faster. Okay, so we've seen the how and the why on a practical day-to-day level, but now let's pull the camera back and look at the bigger picture. Because a tool like this isn't just about making R&D departments a little more efficient. There is a much bigger mission going on here. Basically, democratizing innovation itself.
And here's that mission in a nutshell: to make innovation cheaper, easier to access, and frankly, more effective. By focusing on that super critical early idea stage, which is where so many great concepts just fizzle out, the goal is to open up the whole process and put these powerful strategic tools into way more people's hands.
And that's why IdeaNAV isn't just a piece of software you buy off the shelf. It's actually part of a whole innovation as a service platform. That means you also get access to expert mentors and a ton of online training. It's a complete ecosystem, all designed to support and unlock that next generation of great ideas, whether they come from a huge corporation or a tiny startup. So as we wrap this up, it really leaves us with a big question to chew on. We always think that the next breakthrough is going to come from some radical new piece of technology. But what if that's wrong? What if the biggest barrier to innovation isn't a lack of tech at all, but simply a lack of access to the right tools that let amazing human ideas grow and succeed? Definitely something to think about.